Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Business Influence Podcast with me, Leroy Mark. We still powered by Style ID Africa at the IMC 2025. So in the studio, we have someone who was my boss very briefly, because I did work on one of her brands, Tamryn Taylor. You're head of demand over at, no, this is very important because I get the demand creation, beauty, well-being, and personal care at Unilever. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
If people were listening into our conversation while the cameras were off, they would know that you have a product that I really, really love. And I didn't realize I was part of the campaign of one of your babies.
I know, right? That's a Vaseline Glow oil.
Yeah, Vaseline, and it's one of our favorite products. But I'm very interested because it gives insight into some of the questions I had here, and will deviate slightly, so not to throw you off, but I'm very interested in how you social listen at Unilever, because if we use the Vaseline as a concept, as an idea, how did you know people were looking for a gel oil? I mean, there has to be some very deep social listening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the shifts that we've seen now is that, consumers are always on, they're more informed than ever, they're on social media all of the time. So we've shifted our marketing model to be always on social listening, so that we're on the pulse of culture. And that's when you pick up amazing insights that feed into the development of new products. So we heard a lot of consumers talking about one of the Vaseline oils that was actually being imported from another market.
Yes.
And our R&D team, they're based in Durban, amazing South African scientists, they were like, if people are loving this oil, but it's not actually even designed for South African people's skin, for melanin-rich skin. And melanin-rich skin, it needs more ceramides, and it needs to be able to produce more ceramides so that you don't have that appearance. Like you said earlier, you said, oh, I'm feeling ashy, I need to put something on my skin.
As I said, yes.
And so they said, we can actually develop a much better version of this for South Africans ourselves. So that's how it came about, is hearing through social listening that people were really liking this oil, and us going, we actually know that this isn't the best it could be. Let's create something even better. Give people something maybe in a way they didn't even know that they needed or wanted.
I must confirm, I didn't know I needed it, because it was so interesting to see how, body care is something that we all do. So we didn't think you could, make it better, because, a lotion is a lotion, a cream is a cream is a cream. But this was a wonderful product. I'm interested to find out then, Tamryn, the world of marketing is so interesting because it's so dynamic and moves so very quickly. But today we meet under the guise of marketing as business. And do you think that brands and brand managers see marketing as business?
Yeah, well, in my business, definitely, in my business, marketing isn't decoration.
Nice to have.
No, it is a growth engine. We've got a model that we call it's a social first marketing model, and we use that on Dove and Vaseline. And for Dove and Vaseline, that is our business. We use it to drive desire at scale and to create demand. Like we were talking about the Vaseline Glow oil.
Yes.
Creating that FOMO. People actually rush out the store and change behavior and want to take that product off shelves.
We've had fights with people in the aisles for the Glow.
So for us, marketing it's a growth engine.
Do you think that we've moved away from having marketing as some sort of support engine, where strategy is done up here, business is done up here, and then we say, okay, marketing sort of let people know about it? Has it become more core than it used to be?
It's absolutely changed. I mean, I think the bottom line is it's simple. The consumer is now in control.
Yes.
And marketing is the voice of that consumer. So in effect, marketing are the architects of shaping the growth of the business. And I think that's what's really moved marketing from being in the back room to the boardroom.
But how do we then convince that C-suite, who are all about sort of the bottom line? We've always said historically that marketing is annoying because you can't always quantify what it's worth. You know, I can say sales made 5 million this
Yes,
year,
yeah.
whereas marketing, you know,
But
it
we
is
drew a
not
pretty picture.
there, but you sort of don't know how to quantify it.
Yeah, no, that's a common challenge and a common question, I think. For me, creativity and marketing and creativity is what helps you like really break through.
Okay.
But then delivering on your business metrics, that's what keeps you, you know, at the top of your game.
Mm.
And you know, my team, it's an award-winning team on
Yes.
Dove and Vaseline,
Mm.
and I'm going to say it: we love to win awards. We love to
We
win awards,
love awards.
but we also know that you know if you're just doing like big bold ideas,
Yeah.
like creative ideas that don't actually have any business impact, then that's what we just call art. Okay.
Nice to watch.
Yeah, we
Don't
call,
bring money.
Yeah, yeah. The real magic happens when those like bold creative ideas actually deliver measurable growth. You know, and then I can go to our chairman and say, look, we won this award, but we also sold 5 million products.
The bottom line shows it.
Yes.
I'm interested, you said earlier on that, you know, part of your social listening is to be always on social listening, which is, you know, always on as a term in influencer marketing.
Yes.
And I'm interested in your approach in social media marketing, influencer marketing, because, you know, a brand like Vaseline and Dove, they're so historical. I mean, you don't need to tell anyone about them. It's part of the South African mainstay. But you also need to constantly be appealing to
Yes.
new demographics. You know, you've got the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas and the Gen Betas, and you want to still be influential with those. So how are you getting that right with the social media marketing?
That's a great question, and I think that have you heard of the Vaseline Verified campaign?
No.
Okay, so I think that's an amazing example of
Okay.
it. We actually won a titanium award at Cannes. I don't know, that's never happened in the history of our company.
Wow.
And the South African Vaseline team was a huge part of that award. There were only 3 countries involved, and I
Wow.
think we generated the most content.
Mm.
Now, what happened there is that through the always on social listening, we were kind of able to build the backbone for that campaign.
Ah, I see.
Because social listening was scanning constantly
Mm.
and bringing to the fore hacks that people were using with Vaseline, like
Yes.
things that they're doing at home, and bringing them to the forefront,
Yeah.
which was, it's the backbone of the campaign. The campaign was all about verifying or unverifying those hacks. Because some of those hacks
other
are unsafe.
uses.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've got pictures, you've got like videos of people online, the user-generated content of people eating Vaseline, etc. Okay, like things like because they
Okay.
think okay they're going to moisturize from within. So the whole
Moisturize
thing
from within.
was we need to take control.
Yeah.
So listen to everything that we're hearing and then get our scientists to actually prove or disprove those hacks.
Okay.
So like one of our local scientists in Durban, Sipiwo Shlengwa, she was part of the campaign testing those hacks in the lab to either say safe, not safe, or verified or not verified. And then the users out there, the public who had not submitted, I mean, they're there.
Yeah,
We're social
doing-
listening.
yeah.
We picked them up. Then they got sent like a verified award to say, congratulations, your
We've
hack's
verified
been
your
verified,
hack.
and we verified your hack. Yeah. And I think that for me is a great example of taking a heritage brand, a brand that's
Yes.
been around, you know, for years, that's used by absolutely everyone, a brand that's up on the Soweto towers, and making it relevant to everyone.
How have you been able to keep the demand, especially with a brand like Vaseline, where, you know, it's heritage and it's so easy for heritage brands to be seen as, now my grandmother uses that, we use something more, especially because of the price point of the products, right? We're dealing with products here that aren't ridiculously expensive, niche luxury brands. I mean, if I look in the room right now and said, which one of you have a tub of Vaseline?
Everyone
There
at
we
home.
go, the hands went up. And so I'm very interested to find out about that. How do you keep, you know, sort of the story and getting people in so that they don't go, oh, that's old school, still relevant to today?
I think that's the magic of our social first marketing model that we're using, because it's not about like taking a TV ad and sticking it on Instagram or
Yeah.
something like that. It's about designing ideas that are actually it's about designing ideas that are born in culture. So through that social listening, and then they're built for conversation, things that, you know, people want to really talk about, and then we let communities really scale them, you know, and start talking about our
Yes.
stories for us. And I think that keeps it rich and keeps it new, because, you know, if you are tapping into communities and influencers who really live your brand and are part of your brand world, they can tell stories much better
Than
than
we
we can. Yeah, and people prefer that to like polished, TV ads. Like, yeah.
I think you've accidentally, or by a happy accident, been able to tap into the zeitgeist of what it means to be South African and what brands do where they tap in, want to change the narrative. You've been able to tap in and sort of co-create the narrative.
Yes, co-creation.
Yeah.
Yeah, co-creation beats control every time. I think that's something that we know so well. Like in working with influencers, you get some people who just treat them as, I would say, like a media placement. Here, take this, say that.
Use it, yeah.
Whereas, the real future is that co-creation, that strategic partnership, to the point where you work together on a campaign, you work together on creating new product ideas, with them and with their communities. So absolutely.
I think finally my question is, so where do we take it from here? You've done this for so many years. I don't remember a time when there was Vaseline in my house or a Dove in my house, right? So what do you do going forward to retain that, especially because we've got AI, we've got all these technological tools that are coming in that are threatening to change the way that we do marketing, social listening, influencer marketing. How do we move forward and still future-proof ourselves?
For me, I think it actually lies in the power of communities. To be honest, campaigns come and go, but communities really give you real resilience. If there are people out there that are telling your brand story for you, I think that's when you are really starting to future-proof your brand. I like to say that communities are the new brand armor. It used to be patents and technology and all that kind of stuff, but if you have the community behind you and telling your story and standing up for you, that's when you are future-proofing your brand.
Well, we look forward to a future full of your brands. You really are part of the South African home. I don't believe that Unilever can exist. We sort of have the symbiosis where South Africans are Unilever and
Absolutely.
vice versa. And we thank you very much for your time, but also, giving us brands that we love.
Thank you so much, Leroy. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Tamryn Taylor from Unilever with all the brands that we love. We'll come back more with our big marketing honchos right here at the IMC 2025 with the BOI.
Damn.